Hello, my name is Eric. I I am making this blog to basically documenting my progress for my weight loss journey. I'm a 6'3", 410-pound guy, and I hoping that my journey, my struggles, will able to inspire other people that even what kind of struggles they face, they were able to achieve their journey as well. My journey has already been started for a while, but there's one thing that literally preventing me doing doing the exercise and things like that. On April 28th, 2022, I got COVID. And this disease basically literally screwed my life over. Before I got COVID, I am a person who works 80 hours a week, basic on a regular basis. And I'm talking about I'm doing heavy lifting 100 pounds, 300 pounds of lobster above my head, dumping it into containers, that kind of hard work. And it's very common at my job that I will be walking, like in an 8-hour shift, I will be walking about 8 kilometers doing my job while doing all those heavy lifting. So hard work was very, very integral part of my life. So it's something that I've done for a long time. On top of that, I'm a university student where I studied politics, economics, that kind of things. Ever since I got COVID, which has now been like 4 months now, I'm no longer able to walk more than 30 minutes or able to study at all for a long period of time. So for the longest time, I was not just doing simple math, like 5 times 5, 50 minus 25, that kind of mathematics. It was creating a migraine where I become light sensitive and I have to go in the dark, turn off all the lights, and wear sunglasses for that migraine to go away. Doing just carrying simple things like carrying the garbage from my apartment to the garbage bin outside literally basically collapsed. Like I was basically dead. Yet I never give up. I decided, even though I can't do much anymore, I'm going to try to go for a walk every single day. And I will do the best as I can. Like even doing cooking is something that you kind of need in order to lose weight, that kind of thing. I was not even able to follow recipes because that will create migraine. However, I continue to persevere. I continue to just go on my walks on a daily basis, as often as I can, and my health over time started to improve. Now I started doing yoga, and doing that kind of activity is still very, very difficult. Very difficult. By the time I do a half an hour of yoga, I'm basically dead afterwards, and I have to it takes hours for me to recover afterwards. But that is still better than it was 4 months ago, where I couldn't even do 5 minutes. So even though there is very, very small incremental changes, I'm still getting healthier than it was before. And now I'm able to cook without causing migraine. When I try to working on papers, I can work about for an hour before I get a migraine. So my health is slowly improving, and I'm looking at those small changes as achievement. Like even now, like I'm able to walk a lot further without collapsing, than before. So that in itself is another improvement. Like before it was like 20 minutes, and now I'm able to do it for half an hour. Small changes, but still in the right path. And yes, it is extremely difficult, especially because of my health reason. Like I would love to do more intensive exercise, like lifting weights, doing like jumping jacks, intensive interval training, like doing lots of squats, lots of heavy lifting. But that is out of my reach. So I have to limit myself for what I can do and focus on the small incremental changes in my health and view them as little victories. It doesn't matter how small changes, they're still better than it was before. Like at the beginning, I had like a mind fog where I was not able to think properly, and it was getting worse. Like by the time I go to bedtime, like my brain was completely fried. That brain fog is now gone. And the main thing, as I said, is the migraine. And that kind of improvement is always encouraging. And going back to the whole COVID thing, I know a lot of people says it's a hoax, that it does not exist. And even though basically at this point the lockdowns are gone, and people pretend that it's not affecting it anymore, the truth is that COVID is still there. And even though whether you agree with the death rate or anything like that, to me that's a minor component of COVID when considering of the long-term effect. Like how many people literally have their life turned upside down. And it drives me nuts that we're not talking more how the long-term effect, like COVID impacts your brain, your heart, your lung, and your liver. I have read cases where a 30-year-old female who is very, very athletic, and she had to get a heart transplant because of long COVID. Yeah, like your brain mass, your brain itself ages by 10 years. And yet, no one talks about those kind of things, and how many people has affected with COVID. And I will be honest, anyone who denies that COVID exists, I've lost all respect to those people. And I know that it sounds really harsh, but considering all the all the hardship that I went through, where I basically lost my job, lost going to school. I'm a social assistant now, so basically I have very, very little amount of money that I get every month, and trying to live on $1,000 a month when rent alone where I live is about $1,200 a month. Well, I'm lucky to have roommates, but still, the point is the cost of living is so high, and there are things that are literally limiting to what I can and cannot do. And it's not like you can say, pick up on your bootstrap and go to work. And if you just work, you will be fine. That is not helpful. That is the opposite of being helpful, because there are people, like, as I said, like me, for example, that I'm literally not able to work because of my health. How am I supposed to do even if I go to a normal job, like a entry-level job, like working at a fast food restaurant, when I can even stand for long periods of time? Or if I try to type and I have to concentrate to make sure that my chain of thought flows, it create headaches. And this is one of those things that we don't talk about in general. We're basically abandoning the people in need. There's so much one person can do by themselves, and we need help with of other people. I know it turns on a rant on about politics, but it drives me nuts of the amount of denial that exists in society. And if you present information that contradicts their perspective, they just think you're some sort of lunatic, or that, in this case, COVID is a hoax. When we know about 30% of everyone who contacts COVID gets long COVID. And there are cases that even 2 years ago, back in 2020, when COVID first came out, and the people first caught COVID, they're still dealing with COVID today. They're still dealing with long COVID. Meaning they're not able to work. They're not able to do their normal activity because they're too tired. They're stuck in bed. So yes, and in my case, I'm getting better, but I'm lucky considering other people, their cases are worse than mine. There was a 30-year, as I said earlier, about the 30-year-old who got a heart transplant. And yet, we don't talk enough about COVID, about the long-term effect. And we need to have an honest conversation about it. Yes, I will continue posting videos about my progress, and ultimately I want to lose over 100 pounds and be around 300 pounds, something like that. 300 to 280, 300. That's the kind of range I'm looking for. But it is going to be a long journey, and I'm going to, and for me, I'm going to have to be as active as I can and work within my body limitation of what COVID allows me to do. Which is why I chose yoga as a startup, and even right now, like I'm getting tired. My speech, my sister starts to slow down. This is where COVID is currently impacting me. And before, even though it's been about 18 minutes, I've been walking the entire time, didn't stop. And before, about a month ago, I will, by now, about 8 minutes ago, something like that, I will have to stop, catch my breath, use my walking stick as a stabilizer to just kind of keep me rooted. I don't want to make it, this is not a pity video or anything like that. It is a video that anyone, if you just put your mind, you can achieve what you want to achieve. But you also have to recognize that you have to work within your body limitation. Have a nice day.